Yo, 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 it's your boy Blaze McCoy. We are back here live on the Blaze Radio Network for another episode of WrestleSense. Good to see you all tonight. Let's see who's here. Wally, of course, always hanging out first. Easy's in the house. Uh-oh, here we go. It's going to be an interesting conversation tonight, folks. Super Nacho, welcome in. Welcome in. PFW, Tito's in the building. Juniper, what's happening? What's happening? Good to see everyone saying what's up to each other. You know how we do it. Kelly's in the house. Welcome in. Crimson Ninja, good to see you. You got a big match later on tonight. Wish yourself some luck. Cody Hagan, good to see you, my friend. Always in the house. I appreciate it. Andy Price on the other side of the world. Big shout out to you. Cassie, Madam Red. There she is. Welcome in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Mark Caliber's here. Leedy, or Steeler fan. Big number one Steeler fan out there. Good to see you. Welcome in. And can't forget the Wild-Eyed Yeti. Oh, boy. So everything you can, you know how it goes. Everything you can say or type in the live chat can and will be held against you. Something like that. You know what I'm saying. Just be careful. Have fun. Blade Charges in the house. Wally, you're still here, man. You've been here since like 5 hours. Hey, there he is. I don't believe anything you say about Chance Harper. No, Hella. What's up, Hella? He is in the building. There he is, Leedy. Andy Price, always saying hi to everybody. Good. Caleb James, of course. Everyone knows Caleb James. Hella in the building. So let's bring on the boys tonight. We're going to talk about some wild stuff that's going on in the wrestling world. We're going to talk about the Jokers, of course, from last night. We're going to talk about a little bit of rewriting wrestling history. We can, maybe or will, maybe not. Maybe we will not have a special guest. Either way, it's going to be a crazy night. Oh, and Monstar's here to ruin it, of course. Good to see you, Sean. Welcome in. Let's bring some everyone's in good moods tonight, so it should be interesting, and some very polarizing topics we're going to discuss all over the wrestling world. Let's bring in CJ. What's happening?
What is up? Good moods. I don't know about that. Like, I'm not in a terrible mood.
No, you're just in a mood.
I felt like shit for the past 2 weeks. I feel like I got hit by a train, so I'm ready to fuck shit up.
Well, let's bring someone on to help fuck shit up. Easy's
always from the side.
Yeah, he might. Yeah.
Today is another great day. You all get to meet me, your true hero, and your mom's fantasy. But
and your pizza delivery driver.
Ray, help us out here.
There's no help for any of you fuckers. None.
See, I was going off the rails early there. What's happening, Mary? And Doc. Welcome, everybody.
Hey, what's going on?
So there's a lot going on in the wrestling world. We're going to cut right to it. We do have a special guest tonight. We normally have the segment at the end or have an interview with someone tonight. We're just going to bring him on, let him hang out with us and see how it goes tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Our special guest, a lot of you guys know him out there, is Clinton Cage, Clinton McCleary. It's my man, Clinton Flippen. What's happening, man? Uh-oh. We got a blackout. He's trying to make it. There you go. The green screen's eating it up.
I know, I saw it.
There he is. What's happening, Clint?
Well,
You're
Paul White's muted.
Come on. Are you there? Technical difficulties.
Well, it's a big show.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, shit. All right.
Easy, yeah.
We're going to hope he gets
well,
this going. I want to check back because he's having some technical difficulties. Let's see now. How about now? There we go. Clint, you there?
From the side. No.
Half.
Oh, yeah.
Bad connection here.
It's like the big show Met
Please
fan
do that during a match one time. Just when you count 1,
Right,
2.
we'll see
I was going to say, let's hit the first segment and let him make it out and come back.
The first segment, I'm going to make some sense of it from the
That made me happy.
I tried to be a nice guy and bring him on for the whole thing. You guys thought right.
Hey, can I bring up something real quick?
Yeah.
No.
Listen, Blake's got two friends. One that looks like Conor McGregor and one that looks like the Big Show. And he brought them both to the podcast. What's up with that?
Hey, yeah.
Jeez.
You didn't know Blaze is a member of Celebrity Lookalikes. He's
Sometimes.
the sad thing is Blaze is on the low end because there's just not a lot of call for Brandon Cutler
Yeah, I gotta give
knockoffs just yet.
myself the button. I tried. I was gonna dress up as him one day.
What was that show? Like, I'm a celebrity, get me the hell out of here or something. And it was like D-level celebrities or something.
Mhm.
Before we get to the two top stories of the week, I just want to breeze through a couple things that I found out. WWE getting trademarks for the Bloody Brutes and Ava Raine.
Who's Ava Raine?
That's the question. Someone's getting a new name coming up from NXT, and that's going to be her name.
That's
Bloody Brutes.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any guesses who the Bloody Brutes could be?
Yeah, Sheamus, Butch. And
Sheamus's group, or they're saying maybe the Grizzling.
had
young
to switch the computer, so no cam for Clinton, he said.
The grizzled
All right.
young veterans. I mean, that might be a thing because you know that Vince is not going to like that name if they come to the main roster.
Yeah. Those are the two.
I
I've heard.
like
That'd
it.
be.
I mean,
It's kind of weird if they'd use blood because I know they're using the British worse use of bloody, but blood is a banned word in WWE.
yeah.
That's weird.
How? They have the bloodline.
I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess you can use it in other forms, but you can't just say blood without anything.
So
on it.
if I on commentary say bloody, this is going to get bloody. I'm getting fired. But if I say, oh, that's a bloody tampon, totally okay.
yeah, as long as you don't keep the
I mean,
Y on the end.
Yeah, of course.
Dexter
That's
Loomis, who
what
got
happens.
released, he is Sam Shaw in real life. He has trademarked the name Hatchet.
I like it.
I hope that he sticks with the kind of like stalker-esque quiet
Yeah.
psycho gimmick.
He was
Yeah.
badass in Impact.
He was
man.
awesome.
I agree.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, honestly. I thought that that would actually translate in the main roster.
Yeah.
We're not talking main event or anything like that, but
No,
he could
he's-
have been a good like mid-level Gold Dust-esque.
Upper
and that
mid card.
stupid kissy
Yeah.
face sucked her Indy Hartwell's face angle was terrible.
Oh,
Everyone
you're
loved it.
high.
No,
I hate
Yeah,
it.
I liked
It was
it.
so good.
Well, you
Harley
guys
when
don't
she,
like it.
like,
I didn't like
It
it.
was so
That was his
good.
downfall.
Like
That's
it.
what they're going to say. You can't work out. It's not working. Well,
I gotta disagree. That was
Yeah.
the wedding of
It's
Indy
so good.
Hartwell.
that was
and-
good. The wedding was good.
Was
The whole
fantastic.
shit was good.
When she pulled out the condom thing and was like, we went through like 6 of these last night. I was losing it.
It
I
was
was
finally
laughing.
something that wasn't expected in a wrestling wedding,
Yeah.
I guess. OVW rumored to have a streaming deal for a.
Yeah.
But it is
Show.
not for wrestling.
No,
It
it's
is
a
for a behind the scenes esque type show.
reality show type
Oh,
of thing is what
God.
they were saying.
Like a tough enough type deal or what?
Yeah.
I don't know. All I saw is that they are being shopped around as a behind the scenes type deal. So I don't know if that means like a tough enough type thing, or if they're literally going to have like a behind the scenes kind of like making of scripted reality type deal. Apparently right now it's being bid on by Hulu, Amazon, and Netflix.
And Netflix
So, I
is
mean,
the front runner right now, is what they're saying.
so, I mean,
And for-
that's 3 streaming giants. So
Yes, that's the big news. Not that it's OVW, it's a wrestling show streaming like that. They're going to gauge how it works out, and other bigger companies obviously could follow suit. Is what they're
Wait,
saying.
this is going on the same scale as AEW. They're saying that AEW is doing the exact same thing for a streaming service.
Yeah, they're shopping for
And-
one. Yeah,
You know, and the biggest rumor about them is it's HBO. So,
HBO
Yeah,
Yeah,
Max.
Max. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it makes
Yeah.
the most sense with them being owned by, well, not owned by, but on the television network of Warner Media.
and
that
for
is
those
the
out
same
there in the
umbrella.
chat thinking OVW, yes, it's the OVW that was developmental for WWE up
Rip
till
Rogers.
2008. So,
yeah.
so for those out there, that's what they and that's just the fact that it's getting possibly a streaming deal. It could be good news, big news going forward.
Right now,
for
Jesse
more
is
streaming.
their world champion, if I'm not.
Yeah, he is in there. He has the belt.
Who? Jesse Goddard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Mr. Spectacular.
Yes, that's what
Which
they do.
is
They only
which
have
is
like
another
16
reason-
people on the roster.
Which is another reason that I could see it being a more like worked reality show, because I mean we all know Jesse Goddard's background. At least those of you who watch
Big
Impact, you know,
Brother.
they touted it. He was in Big Brother. He was
Yeah.
a reality TV star. So
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I mentioned it last week that Occam and Razor, former authors of Pain, I don't know their real names, but they are starting up their own company, Wrestling Entertainment Series. This is their show in the UK on June 4th, and that's Alistair Overeem, UFC fighter on the right there. And that's the big news from a lot of places about that. Everybody else is WWE guys. If you listen, here's real quick is the laydown that they got out so far. Fandango versus No Way Jose, Mike Kanellis versus Oni Lorcan, Mojo Riley versus Lindsay Dorado. Obviously, they're all going by different names now. But Madison Rain, Tennille Dashwood versus Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green. They're going by the Legion of Pain now, formerly the Authors of Pain, take on Blake and Macklin, who used to be Cutler. Nia Jax versus Lana. I don't know if anyone's going through a table. We'll see, though. Will be their women's championship. And then Adam Scherr, formerly Braun Strowman, goes up against Alistair Overeem. And this is in the UK. So
nice.
Pretty interesting what they
Super
put together real
Nacho,
quick.
you couldn't be farther from correct with that statement.
Oh, that I saw a part of one of their shows on YouTube. It's, I don't know, different.
I've heard mixed reviews about CYN so far, but I'm excited to see
They
what
didn't have
CYN can do.
nobodies, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was gonna
You
say,
had
yeah.
Flip Gordon, you had John McChesney, you had all kind of guys that are known.
One thing about this wrestling entertainment series show, though, is literally everybody that you've ran out on the card is a former WWE superstar. So I mean, they're really going for the name recognition here. And
but here's the difference, right? Here's the difference, and we keep saying, well, I keep saying that AEW is bringing in the WWE has-beens, right? This is a full-fledged show of WWE.
Oh, yeah. This is more of like along the lines of what Ease tries to say that AEW is. I totally disagree with the AEW thing. They're making stars and reinventing and bringing people like Bryan Danielson, and those can actually fight the way they really should be fighting.
Has-beens.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're not all just leftovers, man. They're either.
Let's not get into the normal argument we always have about the thing of the verse. But if you remember back in the day, like right after WCW went out of business, there was a lot of spot shows like this ran overseas. Hulk Hogan ran a series over in Australia that made a lot of money. So
Jared had a thing.
I mean, if they're looking to put butts in seats and make some money, this is going to work. But could this be a company? I mean, literally, you have your advertising as your main event, a UFC fighter who has not retired, and Adam Scherr, who has his own deal with CYN. So is this just a spot show for them to kind of get their name out there and then they're going to flesh out a roster? Or are they planning to run this business model of, you know them, but you don't know them now, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
I think it might be better suited as a spot show and kind of gauge.
That's what I think too.
You know what I mean? And go from there. But
do you guys find it interesting that they're doing it in the UK as opposed to doing it in the States?
Yeah, that's
not really, because they said the backers were from the Middle East. So
because they were supposed to have a show over there too.
The problem arises with the Middle East is it is a huge problem to get Americans work visas there unless you're a huge corporation like WWE.
Yeah, they're not going to fill that one of those big arenas in Saudi either. But they could
doing something in the UK or something like that where things are a little more lax. Maybe a show like in some place like Spain where, again, like things are a little lax. But right now, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, all those places for Americans is a pain in the ass, from what I've been told.
I think UK will do well.
They're hungry for big shows, man. I've met some guys from the UK on here that do wrestling reviews and stuff. They can't wait for that WWE show. Like, they're hyped about that shit.
It would make money, but the problem is like I said, getting there. I have a friend who owns a car dealership, and he has lineage from the Middle East. Like he's actually Lebanese, but he's taking a trip over there and he's going to Jordan, Dubai, and somewhere else. And he said it was like a 7 or 8 month process to get clearance to come into the States.
Over there. Huh.
Yeah, to come into the country.
It's crazy.
Dubai, especially, he said Dubai is a royal pain in the dick.
Yeah.
So, this might be something that they're trying to get their name and interest up so that then they can go to the travel board and go, look, we've already put on these shows. These have done well, blah, blah, blah. These might be like the testers for them to prove their product and get approval from the country. Because first things first, and like I know in Dubai, first things first is like they have to approve you to even put the show there. Not even mentioning the visas and like criminal records and background checks and work visas and all that shit. You have to go to the government and get permission first.
Yeah. But just interesting when I saw the card and heard more about it, and I thought pretty interesting of what could happen if it's spot show or not. But so let's talk about this, guys. One last match.
Over it.
I'm sure I don't really have to.
Ricky we read the rumors
Steamboat's
that
not doing it.
He denied.
I know we talked in the chat.
Yeah.
They said it was going to be Steamboat, and he said he's not doing it.
Mm-mm.
This is ridiculous. Look, I am a huge Ric Flair fan, and I'm talking the Ric Flair of old, not the put his foot in his mouth.
Mhm.
I'm banging Lacey Evans, Ric Flair.
Yeah.
But dude, he's 73 years old with a pacemaker.
Let me play devil's advocate. I'm Ric Flair. I want one last fight. I'm going to protect myself. It's a 6-man tag match. I just want to get in front of a crowd one more time before I die. Let me fight at some fucking fairgrounds in Nashville.
Go on YouTube at the bar drunk.
It's part of
You'll be in front
StarCast
of a
5.
crowd.
They're going to have the roast of Ric Flair 2 nights before it, both on Fight at TV. Why can't the man have one last match? I know about the pacemaker. He's saying, did you see his interview the other day? He says, the doctors are saying there's enough scar tissue built up around it. I can do it. It's not a great idea, but they're giving him the okay. His doctors have cleared it.
Have him manage somebody. Have him get in, throw a few fists. I'm fine with that. Get the pop from the audience like that. There is no way in hell this man should be bumping.
No, I agree.
Not whatsoever.
What if he doesn't? What if he does the match without bumping once? He maybe drops an elbow.
If he does the match without bumping once, that's fine. But then why even call it a match? Again,
or maybe he covers somebody.
You're bastardizing. You're bastardizing your legacy.
Yeah,
and let's be honest. He bastardized it in TNA. They gave him the send-off of all send-offs. That is a tear-jerking, wonderful moment with him and Michaels. You went out at WrestleMania in front of 70,000 people.
Yeah, went out on your back the best way you can go.
Yeah, there's no better way.
There's none.
Now you're going to wrestle in front of 1,200 people at a fairground? Fuck that.
It bums me out too. It's just the simple fact is he has such a legacy, and I feel like he's just teetering to the point where it's like, do you want to end up like Randy the Ram on the wrestler movie or what?
I think he's doing a disservice to himself. Honestly.
I agree.
Some people say he wants to die in the ring. What do you think of that?
He's going to.
Let's be honest.
He could, yes.
Let's be 100% honest about this. He called Vince McMahon. McMahon said no.
Yeah.
His son-in-law's in AEW. He called AEW. Tony Khan said no. I'm sure he called Impact. They said every major promotion has passed on this to where he found some indie promoter that doesn't give a fuck about Ric Flair.
It'll give him his 15 grand.
Yeah, I hate to do this. I hate to do this. Moving on.
His son-in-law doing it, but
please.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Moving on.
So none of you guys think he should fight?
No,
absolutely not.
All right.
I say do a promo, and just
not even from the side.
Exactly.
And the rumor, like we were saying, it's gonna be Ric Flair and FTR versus the Rock and Roll Express, who are also old as hell, but they can still kind of get a little bit. They don't have the problems health wise he has. Now they're gonna have the roast of Ric Flair 2 nights before. Do you think they're gonna bring up Dark Side of the Ring?
No.
I mean, the helicopter joke's going to happen.
You should.
Well, Rock and Roll Express are still doing shows. I mean, they're doing one in West Newton in August.
Yep. I'm more interested in the roast of Ric Flair 2 nights before, to be honest.
Look,
I hope he makes it through the fight.
If you watch Rock and Roll Express work, which these guys are way up there in age as well.
First still
off,
do.
Ricky Morton can outwork half the guys on the indie scene today.
Yes.
Agreed.
Gibson is extremely limited. He can barely move, and that's why he only takes the hot tag and really does nothing else. But Ricky Morton is a freak of fucking nature, and somehow can still work like he's 20. And he doesn't have the health problems and the thing that Flair has.
Yep.
So why not have Flair manage FTR, have Ricky Steamboat manage Rock and Roll or something? Let him get in the ring and like throw a few punches at each other or whatever.
Throw a chop.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a part of that match either.
We don't need them as a match. We don't need to see Flair's floppy titties.
I'm sure you'll think he'll wear a T-shirt or something.
No, he won't. He don't give a fuck.
Stay in a suit or something.
Moving on.
He probably
moving on. Please, God, moving on.
He's had floppy titties since 1977.
The other big news this week.
Speaking of floppy titties,
Sasha and Naomi and Sasha Banks walking out of Raw.
It's a work.
It's all over the internet. People, all the major YouTube wrestling commentators and followers have said what they think.
Work.
All right. We know CJ thinks it's a work. Doc, what do you think? I totally disagree because I know it's not.
First of all, I want to give it up to my boy, my reporter, McBride from the side. McBride from the side actually sent me some information that he heard that Naomi's contract is actually coming up. So one rumor is that she was not offered as much to stay because I guess because her family's already there. Her husband's there and, everything like that. So they're lowballing her, as I heard. So I heard that's another thing that was another salt to the wound, you could say, on why this happened. Pretty much, right now, everybody's getting offered bigger contracts because, there is a war. It's not a big war, but it's a semi-war. And I think she might have felt slighted, my gosh, she wasn't offered as high a salary as some of these other. So that's all. I'm giving up the props to McBride from the side, my special reporter. Why do you think it's a work? Let me ask you that.
It's a work.
Do you really think, though? Would it get as much? Okay.
They wouldn't be publicizing it as much.
Everyone is reporting that they have proof. It's not. This is one of the things that a lot of people bring up.
That's a work.
The fact that they posted this and admitted a lot of things went out. Now, they've done it before because Stone Cold has walked out, CM Punk has walked out, and Sasha's even walked out before. But there's been tons of reports in the last few days all over the internet and here by all these respected journalists. And if this is a work, they will be in big trouble. Like they're noting very reliable sources from the back telling them what's going on.
All right, listen.
McBride from the sides in the chat, everybody.
It's a work.
Here's the deal.
If they come back, does that make it a work just because they came back to work for WWE, CJ? Answer that.
Because
they're probably going to come back, but it's not a work.
Not necessarily.
CJ,
Naomi will be back.
You are 100% wrong.
No, it's a work.
It's not.
It is.
I have a text in my phone from a source. It is not a work.
Cody was at work too, right?
Yeah,
I have a source.
For a while.
I cannot name said source.
I know who it is.
If you read between the fucking lines, it ain't
it's
a work.
not hard to figure out. I think.
Yeah, shut up, bitch. Don't make, because I'm not supposed to talk about it. But here, this is what I've heard, not from the source. From the source, I heard it is not a work. What I've heard though is that all they wanted in this 6-pack challenge, they wanted Doudrop and Nikki Ash at the pay-per-view. So all they wanted was to not be involved in the finish, and they wanted to set up the match for Doudrop and Nikki Ash. And basically, they were told no. So then they were told that Naomi was going to go over, and then they pitched Doudrop or Nikki Ash interfering in the title match at Hell in a Cell. They were told no.
Yep.
That's when they got pissed off. Naomi is in a contract negotiation. Because of the bloodline, she feels like she's worth money because she's been there forever. She feels like she should get a raise. They are not offering her a pay cut. They are not offering her a pay raise. They are also not offering her to be with the bloodline like she wants to be and like her husband wants her to be.
So what McBride from the side just reported through me? Okay.
Does he work for WWE?
Yeah, it's the same
He
thing.
has good sources. That's all I'm going to say.
But yes, I have on good authority that it is not a work. And that is the situation I heard from a few different reliable people.
All right, PW Insider, No DQ, Sean Ross Sapp. Those are three of the biggest names that report this stuff. They're all already given plenty of proof that they legit went into the office, put the belts down,
thinking it's a work.
They walked out.
Let me say
more than likely they're both coming back. Go ahead, E. Good, easy.
Do either one of these people make a difference if they walk?
No.
Sasha could go to the movies. Most people know that she has other offers.
She got fired by...
They say Sasha told Naomi to go to co-host her. What do you guys think about
Sasha
that?
got fired by Walt Disney. She had the best gimmick there was. She was a Mandalorian and got fired by Disney.
She did for the next movie. She's still booked for the next movies.
Yeah,
You're
she is.
Wrong.
No,
yes, she is. She's still in contract to make more movies with Disney.
I didn't know about this.
She's coming back.
Fired from the Mandalorian.
That must have happened today because yesterday I just heard like 4 people report she's
Are you
in
sure
the next
you're not
one.
mixing people up and thinking Gina Carano?
Gina Carano got fired from that.
Out. Yeah.
They bumped Sasha right after the Mandalorian debut. Like
Good
this,
Angelita.
She's trouble. Anybody that's ever met her knows that her attitude sucks.
Sasha,
right?
Yeah, she's got that.
Naomi's got the problem. She's an Uso. The Usos have big heat on them because they can't stay sober. You know, and if it wasn't for Reigns, they probably would be gone. These two mean nothing. And if WWE tells Naomi to go home, if WWE tells Naomi to go home, that puts the Usos on notice.
I don't think it will hurt the company if they don't.
And if they go to AEW, it doesn't move the needle there either.
I knew them. I agree. I mean, I'm not going to
Sasha
disagree with
Banks convert.
So whether they come back or
confirms
not is the question.
Yeah,
Hey, guys, real quick.
According
Hey,
to Variety.com, Sasha Banks confirmed that she will not be in season 3 of The Mandalorian,
Fuck it.
but still has a first look deal
Fuck
from
it.
Disney.
Fuck it.
Is that
She
what you were
still
going
has a
for?
deal with Disney.
Fuck it.
Is that what you were going for, Doc?
Yeah, you got
I'm
what
sorry,
he said.
I was looking it up as he was talking.
We
I'm
were
sorry.
both looking it up. I found on Screen Rant. Yeah, so
Doc wanted to make the scoop, and Ray stole it.
nah, it's all good. It's all good.
I'm sorry, but yeah, she is. So you're both kind of right. She does still technically have something with Disney, but she will not be in Mandalorian
Yeah,
season.
she's not in season 3. I think they're focusing more on him and Boba Fett's thing, but that's a Star Wars thing. So
Hey,
sorry.
Big Chuck.
Look, in my opinion, regardless of all the rumors out there and exactly what happened, I don't hate it. Like, Sasha and Naomi are not going to move the needle. Sasha moved the needle 5 years ago.
She's
been a problem ever since. I don't think she's a needle mover now. But in my opinion, people standing up for their creative like this is some shit that needs to happen in WWE.
Oh, I agree.
The creative is terrible.
Yep.
It has gotten slightly better over the last few months. There's been some meat in it, but the mid and lower card is completely an afterthought in WWE. They just don't give a shit.
Can I
Go
just?
ahead, Doc.
But they got
Can
the
I
big
just
numbers.
let me
Doc.
let me piggyback off of Ray for a minute. I get you have the whole creative thing that you're saying, but the thing is, when you're hired by somebody
It's a job.
and you're told to do something, you do your fucking job.
Yep.
You do whatever they tell you to do. That's it. I mean, from when the Blue Meanie had his little talk with me at Bell Vernon, no matter what it says, is
there's a lot
when
of
you're
sides to this story,
backstage,
a lot.
you do what you when you work for somebody, you do what you're fucking told.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be
No,
smart
you're
with
right,
you, Ray.
Doc.
It's just the simple fact is, Sasha and
We're all
Naomi,
right.
if this is not a work, CJ says it's a work, whatever. If this is
I
not
like
a work,
what Clinton said it's a work shoot.
what I'm trying to say is, or is Vince going to piggyback off of this, and is Vince going to say, this could make great TV. This is good shit.
Yes.
And then next thing you know, fuck it, come on back. We'll give you what you want, but
Look,
the female outsiders jumping the rail. They left the company. Now they're back. I don't mind that at all.
I mean,
Doc, I don't disagree with you. However,
love
if
to
you
see
look back in wrestling history,
These are two of my
Stone Cold
favorites.
Steve Austin has went into Vince McMahon's office. It's been duly noted, and argue with him about his creative direction.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jericho, it's in his book. Vince has talked about it. Has went in his office whenever the creative was terrible, and fought for his reasoning why. So if Sasha and Naomi are truly fighting for this, which let's go back 2 years. WrestleMania, was it 2 years or 3 years ago when Bayley and Sasha were champions? They felt totally disrespected. They dropped the belts and they had a shit fit and quit or whatever they did, went home, whatever.
Right.
And now Sasha, again, here now, feels like these tag team belts are being disrespected. There's no storyline. And she's going in to simply say, like, look, I'll do the six-pack challenge if this is what truly happened. But can we build our storyline? Can we go into something? I mean, and she's not even asking to be a main event. She's not asking for Ronda Rousey. She's asking for Doudrop and fucking Nikki Ash. And they have no plans for her. There's no fucking clue. Like, come on, man. Like, I get what you're saying, Doc. And yes, if I had a job with WWE, I'd probably kiss the fucking ring and do whatever because I'd be thankful.
I mean,
Naomi and Sasha Banks have made a shit ton of money.
Yep.
Yeah.
But would you kiss the perfect ass, which is Vince McMahon's?
I think till
I had 8 figures in my checking account, I'll kiss the ass. After that, fuck you. This is what we're doing.
I think there's a good way and a bad way to go about it.
True. Yeah,
and
I agree.
With Sasha's past, she probably didn't go the best way about it.
Yeah,
that I agree with 100%.
She's one of them, and she's been known to be one of them for a while. And I think she drug Naomi down with her. Now that's the thing about this conversation. It's been going on for the last few days.
Naomi's been a problem too, dude. There's a
lot.
Of
I agree.
They're just. I mean, if Sasha wouldn't have walked out, Naomi wasn't too.
See, I haven't heard anything bad about Naomi. I have not heard anything bad. This has been going on for a while,
from what they're saying too. This is not a one instance. Just what happened yesterday. It's been going on. Like these two have been disgruntled for a while, and they just had enough. They walked out. Maybe they did it wrong. Maybe they did it however the fuck they wanted to. Standing up.
But again, let's look at. Let's go to.
We don't know the answers yet.
Let's go to fantasy booking world. Let's say that Doc and Eazy-E are tag team champions. You guys are the tag team champions in WWE.
Okay.
And you guys have no storyline going to the pay-per-view. You weren't on the last pay-per-view. You haven't defended the titles on TV hardly at all. And when you do fight on TV, it's a singles match versus somebody else. And then you're told, oh, we're going to do this 6-pack challenge. And you want us to build you a storyline with an actual tag team? Now we're not doing that.
Those two ended up jobbing out to the champions at SummerSlam is what it was going to be.
You don't think that you would feel disrespected after you worked so hard to get the tag team titles?
Of course you would.
As a tag team.
So wait a minute,
just completely pushed aside.
So is the 6-pack challenge the main event?
It's the main event of Raw.
It's the main event of Raw, right? So we've not done anything in a while, but we're featured in the main event.
Yep.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sucking it up, and I'm doing it.
Either, but those two got shafted just because the other two, they didn't get a main event Raw.
But
they could have blew the roof off with those 6 and had a great. And they'd be talking about women's wrestling.
You know who I feel bad for out of all this? And you guys are going to laugh at this. I feel bad for Nikki, and I feel bad for Dewdrop because they were in it too. And I feel horrible for them. I do, and I was agreeing with you. That meant
yeah.
Okay, Blade,
good, easy.
Ray, Doc, CJ. Did any of you main event of WrestleMania?
No.
So shut the fuck up, Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
You probably making $1 million. Shut the fuck up.
Is it her fault she didn't wrestle, or is it the bookers? Maybe she should have main evented.
Maybe it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Eric.
Until we hear from them, we're not going to get any answer.
Alrighty, I like it.
I like it too.
Main event Monday Night Raw. Shut the fuck up and wrestle.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is you couldn't have set up a tag match down the road with them to shut them up.
I blame the Sarlacc pit. All right, I'm done.
What's the big women's tag championship match you guys remember? I'll wait. The big women's tag title match.
Bailey and Sasha.
Yeah.
And who'd they
From
fight?
NXT.
I mean,
the last time.
Very good.
Pardon me, guys. I'll be right back.
The last time that the women's tag titles, which they've never been properly liked, but Bailey and Sasha had a nice run, and then versus the Iconics, they built that storyline. But I can't remember a storyline since then for the women's tag titles that has actually been built. They're throwing together matches. Yep. I mean, it's again, I don't get it. I don't even know why to have the division if you're not going to feature it. Like, it's not like they have.
Uses this as a point and says, "Don't question our authority. Don't question our creative. And if you do, you'll get fired."
He should shut the door on him and say, "See ya. Good luck out there. You see what happens."
I'm not saying
I agree with you,
but this should be a wake-up call. This should be a wake-up call to creative.
Yeah. Amen.
When she's wrestling Jade on AEW, she'll fucking crawl back. I'm so sorry, Vince. I'm so sorry. I didn't even know they were green over there.
So we got even more very debatable topics tonight when we get to our 2 cents. Okay, now for this segment, I will go right down the line and get each of you a shot at it. Let me just get out what happened. The Jokers from last night with the Owen Hart.
Yeah.
Johnny Elite came out. Johnny Morrison, Johnny Impact, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Nitro, whatever you want to call it.
Johnny doesn't have a contract.
Earlier that night, Ember Moon was shown streaming on Twitch live, so she was kind of everywhere. It was all over the internet that she's out. She definitely isn't one of them. And then Ciampa posted a picture of Gargano and Candice and them together, so they were like, "Oh, okay, it's definitely not them." But when the Johnny Elite came out, even AEW tagged the wrong person and had to delete it on their Twitter. Now they're saying it's the associates that run their Twitter, not the people behind the scenes that posted that. So they're blaming it on like a company that they hired to do their tweeting, I guess. But it was John Morrison, and the women's was Maki Ito, which fought Britt. Now she's a comedy act, and my little 2 cents that I've learned over the time is here's my take on it first, and we'll go to each one of you. I want to know what you guys thought about it. I was disappointed too. However, I didn't want to see Joe or Britt lose. It made sense in the long run. I like the Johnny thing, got everyone thinking it was Gargano, but it wasn't. Maki Ito is entertaining. Very rarely do you see a comedy women's match. Britt and her were tag team before, so they had history. They told a little story. It was funny. You knew Britt was going to go over at that point. You kind of knew Samoa Joe was going to go over. Johnny Morrison did a good fucking attempt at that match. It's supposedly a one-off, but that was a good fucking match in my opinion. between the two.
Yeah, I thought the match was shit.
At the end of I was gonna say at the end of the day. Between the two jokers, the other news is there are going to be belts for both of these winners after the tournaments are over. They made that announcement. Tony Khan said they're getting titles. I don't know how they're going to use them or what they're going to do with them. But they're each getting championship. All right, we'll start with Easy E. Go.
Tony Khan made the announcement. He has 7 new belts, and they're all made, and they're in his office.
2 of them are the Owen belts, and the other one are the 6 men whenever Omega comes back.
Yeah, but then he also said that there are 2 belts that no one will believe in. When they show up, it'll be interesting. So is it a hardcore championship? Is it a $1 million belt? Like, what are we going to do here? You know,
what's your take on the Jokers, Easy?
The Jokers are a joke. Absolute joke. You know, when I saw Johnny Elite, I thought, okay, we got Gargano, okay. And then Morrison walked out. I'm like, fuck this. Click. Like, it did nothing for me. Like, it's bad.
I got you.
And the
women's
side of things, you could have come up with the lady from 9 West Pro Avenue, and I'd have been more excited than some lady that I have no clue who she is.
That's the consensus out there. CJ, do you concur?
I love John Morrison, but he looked to me like a deer in fucking headlights during that match.
Okay.
And for the women's, I had no clue who she was. I had no remembrance of her tagging with Britt. So it was a big letdown for me.
Now, neither of them were announced or pushed as a huge name, but the internet community and everyone pretty much made it out to seem like it should have been. I kind of agree. I was a little let down, but I kind of waited till see what happened and kind of drew my conclusion. Doc, what's your take on it all? You're muted.
You're muted.
Do it.
There you go.
Oh.
There you go.
First of all, Johnny Morrison, I was really happy to see him. I'm not going to lie. It's exciting because I felt bad for the guy. I really felt bad for the guy that he got canned from WWE, which I thought him and Miz were great together. During the match, though, you could just definitely tell he had some ring rust, and it just was not beat off of him. And what can I say? If you watch the first lockup, he goes for a forearm, and then you see Joe say something to him, and they start snickering a little bit. Just for the fact that he's like, yeah, I totally fucked that up. I thought it was kind of funny, to be honest with you. However, Maki-Ito, whatever, she is popular amongst the indie wrestling fans and just the very knowledgeable wrestling fans. However, for some reason, my 7-year-old popped like hell when she come out. Just the fact that she's humorous. She has to sing her goddamn song.
Yeah.
What's funny about that tag team and Britt, the thing I remember is she kept singing the song as she was in a 6-man tag. She just didn't give a shit. She kept singing her song, and they were beating the living shit out of her team, and she just kept singing the songs. It was kind of funny. I don't have a problem with either jokers. I mean, I kind of thought the female one was going to be let down because I couldn't think of anybody other than Candice LeRae who would have been amazing in that. I didn't know if she was let go or not from WWE. However, I'll say this. I mean, I was happy to see Morrison. I just was not happy with the match.
It's a lot of mixed opinions out there, and it's another polarizing conversation we had to talk about because there was a lot of expectations whether or not people thought it was going to be a big name or not. Ray, what's your thoughts?
All right, here's the breakdown for me. First off, this is the Owen Hart tournament. They're trying to build this as this prestigious tournament. They want this to be, to honor his memory. They want this to be an annual thing. They want this to be important. And I thought the Jokers completely diluted the tournament and made it shit. Not the whole tournament, but I mean the surprise. John Morrison, while I agree with Doc, I felt like he got a raw deal in WWE. They actually, I completely disagree with that release. He was actually leading in an entertaining storyline with the split from Miz. He does not have ring rust. He wrestled in Mexico last week. The problem with that match was a clash of styles. Joe wants to work snug and hard hitting, and he started doing that tiptoe dancing bullshit, and it pissed Joe off. And you can see that right from the lockup, whenever he glanced at him with a forearm and forearmed him in the side of the titty instead of the jaw. And that's what Joe said is, are you fucking kidding me? And then the match was just shit. He kept trying to do these little flutter kicks, and you could tell Joe's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, Joe wanted to work a snug match like he's worked since he come back, the style that he wants to work. And Joe's going over. Joe should have dictated that match, and Hennigan should have followed, and he didn't. And that's why it looked wonky and fucking weird the whole time. And the match was shit. Yeah. They should have offered Davey Boy Smith's son
that's another
the money to come in for a one-off if you're going to do a one-off, because Johnny Elite, Johnny Hennigan, Johnny Morrison is not signed. This was not a contract. He is not all elite. He was just brought in for a spot show. So if you're going to bring in someone for a spot show to have a hard-hitting match, man, his son would have been perfect.
Why don't you bring else,
anybody else with some lineage, yeah, I would have been fine with that too. Now, when it comes to the women's match, Maki Ito is an underground thing. They teamed together, yes, but that was a year and 2 months ago. Nobody's remembering, like, off the cuff, like, oh, Maki Ito was there last March at Revolutions. And they versed, like, Riho and Thunder Rosa. And she's a comedy act. Again, I don't have a problem with it if they would have used that as just a dynamite match.
Or something, yeah. Or a play into the tournament. Yeah, you're right.
What does that matter?
You're right.
Like you obviously have a working relationship with Impact. Bring Donna Purrazzo back. Bring Jordan Grace. Bring Chelsea Green. Bring somebody for a one-off match that is a really known commodity.
Fuck Vince, you know what I mean? Bring Mickey in.
Yeah, Mickey James.
Yeah, they could have got Mickey James in. Yeah, that would have been another one.
If you're going to bring in somebody for a spot show, again, like I'm saying, for the spot and to go over to Britt that isn't going to hurt them or whatever. I mean, literally, I just think there is 1,000 better things. And you could have just had Maki Ito work a match. Like, yes, she's entertaining. It's funny. I don't have a problem with it. But playing off like they were a tag team 15 months ago, who gives a fuck? and I mean, like I said, to me, it dilutes the tournament.
Yeah, I got you. That's a lot of the opinions that were out there, you know, that we're hearing right here, and it's no surprise.
What about you, Blaze?
I started out. I said I was a little disappointed, but once I got to really absorb it and see that I didn't see Joe or Britt losing, that it made sense in the end for TV purposes, and when you got a comedy act, which you don't see with women that much. It was more like a Santina Morella type thing. It's just comedy coming out, and we got to see it.
And we got to talk about what John Morrison's been in wrestling for 20 fucking years. Yeah, and he doesn't know how to play off a beatdown whenever Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt and Sandom fucking Singh come in. He's like getting like awkwardly like, should I do something? But you're in the fucking ring 2 feet from the person. Yeah. Either get involved or peel the fuck off, bitch.
I would have rather had Taya than him if I could choose between the two, obviously.
I'd have rather had Sasha and Nib.
Yeah. One other thing about AEW,
script, you don't know what the fuck to do.
The last thing that's another work or shoot thing that people are talking about right now from the Rampage tapings. Danielson getting his leg stuck in between the rope and the ramp. You guys hear about this?
I heard about it.
10 minutes it took him to get it. 10 minutes it took him to get his leg out, and he acted like he was really injured afterwards and limped out. But now people are saying he just did it because he wanted like an Andy Kaufman type weird, hey, this happened and you got to talk about it type thing.
I love Danielson, but the person that does that the best is Chris Hamrick.
Absolutely. I really hope that Danielson, that it is a work, because
me too.
It is so fucking essential for the storyline between the JAS and the Blackpool Combat Club and Kingston and them, that if he's not in that match, I think it really dilutes it.
What exactly went down? Because someone sent me a video, but he was like, his leg was...
I haven't seen it.
You have to watch it
because they have the elevated ramp.
Special start time tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Elevated ramp.
Thanks, ramp. NBA playoffs.
And there's like this much. He had his leg in between where the ramp is. So they're not saying, oh, if it really was a problem, they might not have to use the ramp. Or they're talking about safety. You know, everyone else is going to, get hurt. But I don't know. Now it's coming off that it's a work or something. Daniel Barry's in the house. Speaking of work, speaking of writing, rewriting history is what we're going to do next on the last segment here. We're going to talk about any part of time in the past of the history of professional wrestling that you would like to pick up and change. And we got a guy who's been doing it on his channel. Clinton has been doing it on his channel for a couple of different segments. He's rewritten ECW's December to Dismember, I think was one, and he did another one. It's pretty interesting stuff. So when we come back, we're going to ask the guys on the panel, what would you change in the wrestling history if you could? Here we go, right back.
Yeah, they can move to this. Your soul, man, they can move to this. It's brand new. Open your eyes and realize it's the new guys. Y'all commit.
All right, so I'm going to get a drum roll and hope it works this time. You got audio only. Clinton, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How are you guys?
All right, good. Clinton is here. All right. So
How you
before
doing,
we
man?
go in to getting everybody's information on what they would like to rewrite, tell us a little bit about the storyline that you do and on your channel and this show that you've done a couple times already. It's pretty intriguing.
Well, this comes back from the idea that I used to work creative as an intern for WWE, and then after that, I was training while I was also there. And I decided to go in the Pacific Northwest independent scene for a little while before I went to Job Corps because I had to retire due to injuries.
Gotcha.
But I just came back, thought about it, and it's like, what segments would I redo in history? And right now, I've done the January 4th, 1999 Monday Nitro, and then, as you said, the ECW December to Dismember. And my best friend gave me the invasion angle, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do it in segments or do it all at once.
So I can think of one. We're going to go around and each of us got an idea. I can think of one right now. How about let's rewrite the women's tag team history in WWE? We talked about that. I talked to Monstar, our friend Sean, and asked him, and he had a good one. December 15, 1997, Raw, where Owen Hart and Vince were in the ring, and after that, punishment was the Blue Blazer segment of his career. He would like to have taken just that angle and had it flipped completely around and have Owen Hart go a different way throughout the rest of his career and never be the Blue Blazer, probably a longer career as well. What do you think about that one, Clinton?
That actually does sound interesting because that would eliminate Over the Edge 1999 if he never became the Blazer.
Yep, correct. So it'd be something that you can really run with and figure out what you want. Now, CJ had one we talked about earlier. Which one did you say you'd like to rewrite?
I would like to rewrite the ending of WCW. Obviously, I wish it would have gone on longer. I liked the Monday Night War.
So no buyout, you're saying just keep. He says no, and they just keep on going the way they were.
Yeah,
I like it. That's a good one. Doc, you have one?
I had one. I'm looking up another one because I had the Owen Hart one, but fuck me, right? Go, Ray.
Ray.
You're such a cantankerous old shit anymore.
Way to go, Monstar. I know you're out there, you stupid Canadian. Way to go, Peckerhead. Monstar's a good guy. I asked him earlier today, and that was his answer.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome. He's fucking great.
I brought that up before the show.
I wasn't here. I wasn't.
It was just what me and CJ
Oh, that's right. Fuck.
When we talked about this, CJ has already touched on it a little bit, but I think the invasion angle was done completely wrong. And you had such a good opportunity with that at the time. Even without a television deal for WCW, they had two shows. They had SmackDown, they had Raw. They should have rebranded SmackDown to WCW Nitro. They should have ran it as its own product with Shane being in charge. And then had ECW like kind of pissing with everybody with Stephanie. Like, I just think that storyline had so much potential and was never truly done right. But I feel like it could have ushered in an even bigger boom had it been done correctly because of the sibling rivalry and the family drama that could have been played into it. Like I said, if it was done correctly and if it didn't seem like WCW and ECW were such paled in comparison to WWE, but obviously Vince McMahon on his ego wanted it to seem like, well, they were my competition and now they are inferior. But since CJ kind of touched on that, the other thing that I would have rewrote is when the Shield broke up. Not that I was against them breaking up. I loved the initial breakup. It was the storyline immediately following. I thought that Seth Rollins should have become the new leader of Evolution. I thought that Seth Rollins should have kind of slid into that role, and Triple H then could have took the Ric Flair mentor-esque role, and they could have kept Evolution going instead of putting Seth Rollins into a comedy gimmick. Even though I love J&J Security, Mercury's my boy. Not that I dislike them. It's just for Seth Rollins' big championship run, first run, as a heel on his own, I think he should have been more featured and less of a comedy shit, chicken shit heel gimmick. And I think he would be even more over than he is now. I think you really missed an opportunity with him. And he's found his way back to being really good now. Like, I love his persona right now. I love the gimmick right now. But you got to admit, he kind of treaded water for quite some time. And in the same token, Roman Reigns treaded water as they were trying to shove him down our throats instead of him being the badass babyface going for revenge against an insurmountable odd of the Evolution stable versus just him, being shoved down our face as John Cena 2.0.
Clinton, what do you think about that one? Taking the Shield a little different direction after they broke up.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But for me, I think I would have gone the obvious route with Dean turning heel and then letting him unleash John Moxley.
That would have been nice. At least we got to see him in the long run.
Oh, yeah.
Easy E, do you have something in wrestling history that you'd like to try to rewrite?
I think two names come to mind, and that's Mr. Perfect and Rick Rude. Both didn't have a title run. So I think that I would give both of those guys some sort of title run because both back in the day are great wrestlers, great technicians, and people that we fell in love with back then.
Yeah.
Think about it. Rick Rude was one of those bad guys that we kind of loved to hate before.
Rude during the Warrior feud.
That's true.
Rude during the Warrior feud was so fucking hated. Like that and that Jake the Snake feud, like he was so hot right then. They should have put the belt on him. He should have went into a program with Hogan. I agree, 100%.
So
I would also, in the new age, I wouldn't have broken up DYI until I brought them up to the main roster. I thought Gargano and Ciampa together were an amazing tag team. We would probably be talking about them if they would have formed on the
RK Bro.
We would have been talking about them with the Young Bucks as one of the best tag teams there is.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
And honestly, that series of matches stringing across SummerSlam and WrestleMania would have been like legendary. I mean, not that they're not already still remembered as like an amazing series of matches, but holy shit, that in front of 70,000 people and a blood feud with those two would be fucking amazing.
That's a good one, Clint. So that's two good ones from Easy. I'll give him a big credit for that one. Perfect and Rude.
Oh, yeah.
Getting a little more love back in the day. And DYI, what do you think of those, Clint?
I think they're great. I've been writing all of these down. But like I said, I hear a lot about the Invasion. I'm reading it in the chat too. But like I said, I'm trying to figure out if I want to do the Invasion angle as one video or split it up into like month-to-month videos.
There's enough in there.
The Invasion angle is basically, and I hate to bring it up, you guys, because you know what I'm going to say. It's basically the Bible of wrestling. It's my Bret Hart book, The Bible of Wrestling. If you remember from the Real Deal, I kept mentioning that. The Invasion angle is what made wrestling cool.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Doc.
It needs.
Doc. Are you ready, Doc?
Yeah, two of them.
All right. Fire away, bro.
All right. First of all, I'd rewrite Monday Nitro, September 1st, 1997, when the NWO did a spoof of Arn Anderson's retirement promo. That is when shit really started to go sour for WCW. I mean, they had to contain Flair in the back because they didn't even let them know they were doing it. And that's when Nash, Hall, Hogan, they all got to run rampant and do whatever they want with their creative, but everybody else wasn't allowed. So I really think I wouldn't have took that because that was Arn Anderson's like retirement speech that they made fun of. And Arn Anderson did everything for WCW and NWA. I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was very disrespectful. And after you sit there and you listen to like Arn Anderson talk about it and you listen to Flair, I thought it was fucked up. So I would definitely change that one. I think that was starting a downhill slide for Nitro. And I think that right there put it into overdrive. Number 2, I would go to Saudi Arabia and I would tell the prince to shove his blood money up his fucking ass. And I would not have Fiend jobbed Goldberg. I feel that that's what killed the character right there. And there was a lot of disappointed people on that topic.
That was so dumb that they did that.
That's a
completely stupid angle.
So, I love the NWO promo. I love it. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, what else would you have done instead of that Arn Anderson spoof and that? How would you started to rewrite it, Doc?
I would have just rewrote it. I would have went to Flair. I would have went to Arn Anderson. I would have said, listen, this is what we want to do. And if they would have said, we're not cool with this, how about we spoof on somebody that is active like Flair? It was just funny watching Sean Waltman there going, woo, woo, because he didn't do anything else. Maybe do something like that, like just an interview between someone and Ric Flair. You didn't have to go completely.
True.
The NWO, though, was anti-establishment. They were there to make fun and break down the norms of wrestling. And yes, I agree, it's disrespectful as shit. They should have gotten some kind of, some kind of thing from him. That part I totally agree with. But the actual going out there and making fun of something that happened 2 weeks prior, whenever he did the retirement speech, fuck it, do it. And then, hey, I have a bonus one for you, Clinton. What if Bischoff and Hogan never came to TNA?
Oh, that I agree. I loved TNA before they showed up.
Yes.
So we got Rewrite the Fiend at the end. Now, that was one we were talking a lot about when we started this podcast. Every week we were like the Bray Wyatt watch. And now, right now, there's like not really much about it. What you guys, like we were all debating on, was he going to go back? Was he going to be in AEW? When's he going to do this? Then we got his movie. Where are you guys at with this, Eazy-E?
I still think he's coming back, and I think he's WWE. They've been mentioning him left and right on everything that they can right now.
Well, the kid in the front row, I guess that had to be approved through his earphones before he's going to say the Fiend and bring it up, because they haven't talked about it that much on TV. Now, there's a lot of buzz about it. What do you think, CJ?
I think if he comes back, he's going back to the WWE. If he does.
Yeah. Doc?
I agree.
Yeah.
What's that? Fiend? I feel I feel he's coming back, but he's really loving making horror movies now. Monstar, suck my dick. But the thing is, seriously.
We had a feud. I got to have Shamrock that's Sean Shamrock and Monstar versus Doc. That match has to happen.
Oh, my God.
He took your idea, you bastard. Hey, Doc.
I mean, if you think about it, though, if you think about if you think about it like this, though, I think anybody in this chat, I think anybody on this podcast would love to have Owen Hart back. My God, I mean,
that would be great.
It's just something else, But
so
I'm just fucking around with Monster.
Would you give Owen the belt? Is that how you would change it? Give him the world title right like after that and have him?
I think Owen deserved he deserved the world title run. Just the simple fact that
whoa! Come on, Dale Earnhardt. Just because he died doesn't make him the greatest. Come on now. He was a mid-card wrestler at best, guys.
Owen deserves a world title run. Could you imagine an Owen Hart versus Eddie Guerrero match? Come on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Again, Dale Earnhardt wasn't the greatest because he hit the wall.
Who gives a fuck about Dale Earnhardt?
Owen Hart fell from the sky. He's not the greatest. Come on. We probably got hit because he died from falling.
They're just
he died from a faulty strap. I mean,
right now,
he probably is one of the most technically sound wrestlers.
He's over it.
He was one of the best.
A world title run for him would have been definitely. So you're saying it's not feasible. He should have never been near a world title. Is that what you're saying on record? All right. Clinton, we gave you a lot of great ideas. I think you can run with
You're a fluffer.
In the description of the channel, plus in the live chat. Please, he's close to 100 subscribers. We need to get this guy there. Let's get him to 100. If you guys see Clinton's link will be popping up in a live chat. Plus, in the description, subscribe to Clinton's Warp Productions, bringing you a little more rewriting wrestling history. And I'm going to hit on everybody here because we got one last segment, and we'll get Clinton's final take, too, at the end of the day. All right, I got to hurry up. We're going over an hour. I'm going to get yelled at. CJ's going to yell at me. I'm in trouble. All right.
At the end of the day,
Clinton first. Our guest, what's your takeaways from tonight's show?
At the end of the day, thank you for the ideas. Owen Hart deserved a world title run.
Thank you.
And anybody who disagrees is a C+ player.
Nice. All right. Good. So glad to have you on, Clinton. CJ, go ahead. End of the day. I know you can't wait to get it
At the end of the day, IWC has 2 shows this weekend, and also at the end of the day,
of course. Eazy-E, at the end of your day?
At the end of my day, I'm a C+ player.
At the end of the
day. You know what? I just want to say this. I did do indie wrestling this weekend. Or last weekend, enjoyed myself. I saw a girl do a moonsault and didn't get caught, so she smacked the ground. And I once again, going to see indie wrestling is what makes my life happy. And, I enjoy it. And these guys are going to talk more about indie wrestling here for a couple minutes, but go out, find your indie and go. Enjoy.
Lord Amadeus, you motherfucker. You had to come in and agree with Eazy-E. What are you doing to us here? Thank you, LA. Good to see you, my friend. I had to shout out to you, Doc. At the end of the day,
there's a show also in Pittsburgh with 2PW, Prospect Pro Wrestling. Definitely go check it out. It's going to be awesome. So if you have a choice between two shows, I mean, you got two great shows, IWC and 2PW, so go to either one.
all right. Ray, at the end of the day, Ray.
At the end of the day, fuck it.
Fuck it.
All right.
That's what he says. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we covered a lot tonight. Some of the wild stuff that's going on in the world of wrestling. Let's talk about some fucking jokers. How about the guys we got right here on the
Oh, yeah.
We'll see you next week, folks. At the end
From
of the
the
day,
side.
from the fucking side. Peace.